Are you having trouble with your mediumship? Are the images not clear or the information and the evidence not right? Maybe you have a blocked pineal gland. The great news is I've developed a drink and a meditation CD to decalcify this and to make everything run smoothly as possible. All for 149.99. So, all joking aside, and I just get, that's going to offend some people out there, isn't it? I have no doubt about it. But the very fact that they then bring that information forward and put it online offends me. So, like for like, I suppose, isn't it? And the real problem is us. That's it. I've said it time and time again. Mediumship is very, very easy. The problem is us as the instrument. And what we do very naturally is we look for an excuse. It's the culture. It's the way that we do it. There must be an external problem, and obviously that would be the working of an ego. When really all we have to do is look at it very simply and break down what the problem was, reverse engineer it, and every time it will be me or you as the individual. So, like that or not, that's the very black and white approach to it. So the kind of problems I mean is that, and I've done videos for every topic that has been presented to me from viewers that have had their problems, and then I've released a video saying, have you tried this? And as always, these videos are my opinion and it's my way of working. I'm not saying that that's the right way and your way is wrong. I'm saying this is the way I do it. I do it pretty much every night of the week. Week after week after week. So it's a different angle, a different approach that maybe work for you because it's working for me real time in my 200 DEMs a year, my readings, my seminars, my trips, whatever. So it's something that works for me, and that's why I give it back to you for free on the internet. Now, the philosophy I have in my head of mediumship is one that is very, very simple. And throughout the ages with mediumship, you look at the pioneers of the movement, the Estelle Roberts, the Maurice Barbanels, of that time period, have always spoke through the entranced state of mediumship being very simple. And Silver Birch for me was one of those people that used such clean and effective use of the English language. It was beautifully spoken, and every time he would say how simple it was, how easy it was, and I have to agree with that. I don't agree with everything that he says because of the time and the culture and the dilution of the mind of the medium, and times have changed. But the majority of what he said was something that was very simplistic. And I tend to lean on that side. So with that knowledge and that understanding in my philosophy, I've always tried to set up my mind to be as simple as possible in the act of mediumship. And so what I tend to lean back on all the time is that there will only ever be one person that knows all the answers to the story that we are giving. Every single time, no matter what angle, whether it be a demonstration through practice, whether it be a demonstration to the public, a demonstration online, readings, one-to-one, as a group, whatever the scenario is for the communication, the only person that knows all the answers is that of the communicator. So I've never understood why the communicator won't give you, or that they're not speaking, or they're being erratic in your mind. Can only be down to the way that you are interpreting it. Now, the idea is that I ask a question, and if my mind or my consciousness is broad enough, then I can receive the information as simple as possible. Now, obviously, there's going to be times that my mind doesn't hold that information very clearly. Maybe it's someone of great intelligence that that worked in the science community, and they know about all the stuff that goes on in that line of work. And my mind simply doesn't have a reference point or an angle to come at that my mind can hold it very freely. So it will use the closest thing that I can get to for that reference base. So it will come out choppy, it will come out not quite on point or not quite on the mark. But the picture that I paint, without saying that one thing, the overall picture that I'm trying to display to my client or my audience will be there or thereabouts. Not pinpoint, but there or thereabouts. And that's why I say try to understand what it is that they're trying to get through. If, on the other hand, I do have a knowledge of that, maybe it's about football, maybe it's about PlayStation, maybe it's about anything that I like and I love and I've had a journey of throughout my life, the freedom of that communication will be so free that everything will be just pinpoint, accurate, therefore I can go out with it. And so it really is the case of being completely honest with myself. Don't look for the excuse. Don't look, it must be that the spirit world is struggling today. It must be the moon that's in whatever phase it's in, and so I'm just not picking it up correctly. I'm absolutely certain that the spirit world know the moon's going to be in a certain phase, and so any adjustments that are required would have already been made, because you are still receiving the information. Now, of course, there's going to be those people that completely disagree, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying you're wrong and I'm right. I'm saying that I try my absolute best to go to the spirit world to do their communication, and they know all the answers, and because they know all the answers, if I am delivering that wrong, then in my opinion that is me, that's my fault, and I need to work on that a little bit more. I've addressed that, that's not a problem. But what we tend to do, and what I've seen so many times, is this isn't working so well. Now, who can I blame? Where can I put the buck here, so it doesn't look like I'm bad, or I've got it wrong, or I'm not good enough for said communication? When the reality is there are going to be minds that you simply don't understand. There are going to be minds and communications that you just simply can't hold or attain that kind of information because it's so dialed in, or it's so out of your reach because you don't know that life, or you didn't even know said thing existed. And so this is why in development I think experience can help, but I also think research can also help. So if I want to be better at people of privilege, then watch things or read things on stories that are of privilege, giving the communicator the best kind of reference base that I can. Every medium that is watching this, every developing medium that will watch this video, you will be specialized in one area. You will be so good at one area. Now that may be that you're specialized at terrible relationships. And so there are so many people out there that need help through terrible relationships. There are people that have gone to the spirit world that had a life of terrible relationships. So that communication with you and their loved one, your client, will be very dialed in and very on point, and it will feel very good to you. So you will be fulfilled. However, if your communication is one of a science background, their life from the age of 10 was dedicated to the moon and traveling to the moon and designing rockets and all that kind of stuff, then your ability to deliver that communication is going to be hindered by that of the instrument, by you, your mind, your reference base, the way that you work with the spirit world. That's okay. And what people are doing is trying to blame it on something else. I had a chakra healing yesterday and it's thrown all my chakras out of sync. Someone told me my pineal gland is blocked and I should do this and I should do that. I didn't sit for long enough. I didn't do this. I didn't meditate before the reading or before the demonstration. When actually, none of those things are required. if you're going to require them, and it is going to be an upcoming video, then know that that is you that requires it, not the spirit world. And because of that, that is now a restriction in some way within your freedom of mind and the freedom of communication for you to get it as freely as possible. I always describe the communication aspect to any developing medium that I come across. And I always demonstrate it in a class where I find one person where I feel their story is okay, and they would be comfortable for me to put it out into the classroom. And I simulate us going for a coffee. And I just ask them their story, you know, who are you, what are you about? And from that, they start to talk. And of course, the conversation's a little bit awkward at first, but the more and more comfortable they get, the more freely the information starts to flow. If at any point my curiosity is aroused, then I ask the question. And when I ask the question, of course, the person that I'm asking will give me the answer. And the classroom get to see the way that I prompt or try and extract information from my client, in the form of questioning at the right time, because they're speaking their story, how I get that information. Then I present it to the classroom. This is exactly the same notion and way that I do this during my spirit communication. It's like we're going for a coffee. It's like we're having an interview. Whatever scenario I need at any given time, then I get the information, then I present the information. The information isn't gathered any differently from someone that's doing it for a month into development to someone that's a decade into their development. The information is received in the same way. The interpretation, the way that we present that information is the way that it starts to look different. We've all seen mediums that work kind of the same way, and you can usually see a student that's worked with a teacher presenting it in their teacher's way. And what we've got to find is your way of doing it, your way of presenting it, your way of getting the information, how your reference base is working, and delivering it as flawlessly as we possibly can. But accept it's okay that your mind may not be able to hold all the information in the world. But listen to what I'm saying. That's your mind, not everybody's mind. So it will always come down to the individual. It always. And classrooms are designed as a collective, but I think we need to now start looking at working as a base and then individualizing each exercise for the individual and their mind, their problems, their hang-ups, their reality, their story, their world. And as we make those adjustments, then we should see the improvement in said person's mediumship. You, me, whoever. So I think that's enough for now. Yeah. So like the video if you liked it. Obviously get in the comments if you've got something to say. We can go over it in the comments. Subscribe if you aren't already. Hit that little bell for a notification of the next upload. And I'll see you all next time.